sometimes photographers actually want their pictures to be blurry. It's called bokeh or bokeh. I'm not really sure how to say it. I really don't like the word. But what it really means is that you have this blurry background or maybe a blurry foreground, but your image that you want to highlight, you want that to sort of be separated and stand out from all the surroundings about it. And the way you do that is that you open the aperture on your lens as wide as you can. I want to show you something. This Viltrox lens, this is a 27 millimeter f1.2. has a button here for autofocus. Also has an autofocus manual focus switch on the side. Has a click button on this side that you can turn it on and off with, and has this aperture ring. This is their Pro model. This is a bokeh monster, and it gives you that amazing separation called depth of field. Try to explain that a little bit. What happens with the depth of field is the wider you make your aperture, sort of like dilating your eye. Of course, the more light it lets in, but it also gives you a very narrow depth of field. So the thing that you're focused on, it will stand out from everything else because it will be in focus and everything else will be out of focus. And some of the background blurs can still be busy and distracting, and some of them are smooth and beautiful, and that's the power of this. It makes a very beautiful background blur when you use it.
As an example, this old bridge in the background I thought was very pretty, and I got down really low and shot up through the grass to get him focused on that bridge. And then I noticed this blue flower that sits in the front that's out of focus here, and I thought, what would it look like if I focused on the flower, blur out all the back? And I got this picture. I think it's one of my favorite. This lens is able to focus really close up. This dew-covered prairie flower is really small, and I got very close to it. Again, using the f1.2, I was able to blur out everything in the back. This is what I got.
And it also goes up to f16. And I've heard some say that they don't really like the sun stars with this, but I found it to be pretty nice. So check out a couple of these, and let's talk about some of the other things that we're going to be doing today. Let's talk about some of the other photo compositions that we're going to do this morning out here at this tree grove. It's actually a cemetery, and it's just one of these little country cemeteries, a few graves out here. Promise I'm not going to disturb anybody, but we're going to take some pictures, and there's this beautiful wheat field behind, and we're going to include that in some photos too. I drove out here this morning to see if I could take some pictures of this beautiful tree grove where I saw when I was driving home the other day. And then this morning as I'm driving out here, the whole area was foggy, and I was thinking, man, if I could just get a little bit of that fog in with these photos, that would be awesome. And I got here just as the sun was really starting to get up in the sky, and the fog was still here. The sun hadn't burned the fog off yet. So I took these photos, lined up these trees, and was trying to get the sun behind the trees to get maybe a glow. Then I also wanted to step out here and make a composition of this tree that just sort of stood out. It's funny, you can be out here and you can be looking at one shot, and I just turned my head a little bit and I see another picture that is standing out. So this tree just seemed like it was begging to be photoed, and so I took a picture of it. And then there's some trees back here in the back, lined those up, got some shots of those. So out here, and I've got the wheat, I've dropped the shutter speed down to 40, so I'm putting a timer on it. And show you, just frame this just a little bit different. Yeah. Bring it to about, well, I think 28 millimeters on the lens. All right, let's give this a shot. It's a great day. Still a bit hazy. As you look, you can see still a bit hazy out here. And had this beautiful wheat field that I used as sort of a foreground for a couple of pictures too. It may not have oceans, but there's still lots of beauty. Love coming out here and just seeing what I can find. Well, the sun is up now and it's getting up in the sky a bit, and I think I'm gonna call it a day. Look, there's some kind of bug. Don't know if you saw that. I'm gonna call it a day and drive back home. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And if you enjoyed this one, check this video out here. This one is how I got out by the lake after the storm and got some pretty cool pictures of some pretty cool birds doing some interesting stuff.